First Alert 6 starts with breaking news.
Just into our newsroom, a person was rushed to the hospital after a crash. This happened in the area of 118th and Harrison just before 6 this morning. Details scarce right now, but according to dispatch, the victim's injuries are not believed to be life-threatening. Stay with First Alert 6 as we are working to learn more. In the meantime, it's good to have you with us early on this Friday morning for our First Alert 6 streaming. I'm Erin Hartley.
And I'm Cerise Cole. Let's check in with meteorologist Jared Lansford. Yesterday, it was bitterly cold. This morning it's still cold, but man, what a difference one morning makes.
So it's Friday?
Yeah.
It's warmer?
Okay.
There's a little bit of sunshine?
Yeah.
Let's do it.
We got some great things going on. Let's take a look at where we're heading here as we make our way through the morning. So there is a fair amount of cloud cover. We're stretching it a little bit with the sunshine one, but hey, we'll have some that's in and out as the day goes on. More so when weather is concerned, it's the temperatures. It's the big deal this morning. 20 degrees where we're at. Do have a little bit of a breeze still. It is feeling like it's in the single digits still, so it's not exactly warm. You're still going to need to bundle up, but it is definitely a step in the right direction when compared to yesterday. Most of us are right around 20 degrees with our temperature. Watch this. Blues to the oranges, reds, pinks, indicating how much of a change we've had in the last 24 hours. Almost 20 to 35 degrees warmer. That's a big surge when it comes to just that 24-hour time frame. So we are doing a lot better. That more speaks to just how cold it was yesterday morning than how warm it is out there this morning. But we are going to be continuing to step upward through the afternoon and actually get back above freezing. That's several days since we were in that area. A lot of cloud cover by the time we get to the end of the day, but still, that won't prevent us from getting up above freezing. Now, as we make our way through the evening hours, we have to watch for maybe a stray rain or snow shower that tries to make its way in. Not going to be much to this, but I want to show you how it goes once we get beyond 5 o'clock. So there you can kind of see how we have the clouds in and out during the morning hours. Generally thicken those clouds in the evening, and this is showing up as kind of some greens, some pinks. I think this looks a lot more ominous than what we're going to be seeing. Could have a quick shower or snow shower that comes through, but again, I don't think this is going to have big impacts. I just don't want you to be caught off guard by this from about 5 through about 8 this evening. You see how those are already making their way out of the area as we get to those evening hours. So a possibility for a few flakes, a couple raindrops shouldn't really impact us too greatly. It's more so what we get to beyond today that I want to first alert you to. And notice with these 3 days, today is the best day for getting outside as we're into those mid to upper 30s, with some changes that come as we get into our Saturday and our Sunday.
Yeah. All right, looking ahead to next week as well, we had to move, of course, our stuff the truck, food and toy drive, of course, due to the very dangerous cold temperatures that we experienced yesterday. It should be a better forecast on that Tuesday.
Yeah, it's definitely going to be improving as we get into next week for that. So that's the good news that ended up playing out well for us. We just got to get past these next couple of days where we have that snow and the cold. So we see this system make its way through on our Saturday, and that will be bringing a coating of snow to the area, and that starts after 11 in the morning. Here in just a little bit, we're going to walk through the details of how that snow plays out, how much we end up seeing. There will be a bit of a variation across the metro, so you want to stay tuned for that. And then behind that system, we're talking 20 degrees for a temperature on Sunday, and that's not much warming. We actually start off the day at 15 degrees. A few flurries still around Sunday morning, otherwise just mostly cloudy. But watch how we improve after that. We get to the mid-30s for Monday, and there's our Stuff the Truck event, low 40s for our high. We'll start off the day in the mid-20s. There will be a little bit of a breeze alongside that, but overall, that's a much better forecast for that than what we would have experienced yesterday. We'll watch the middle of next week, another chance for some rain, snow showers to work their way through on our Wednesday. So still kind of a busy pattern where we're seeing these occasional systems that make their way through, and we'll just be tracking each one as they bring some precip to the area.
Okay, well, let's talk traffic and how are things looking this morning?
We've got a couple of issues. We mentioned that breaking news off the top of that crash, so we still have that situation unfolding at 118th and Harrison. So let's talk about the latest with how the traffic's moving through that area as a result of that crash. So sometimes people refer to 118th here at this intersection. It kind of is one of those where if you go in a different direction, it has a different name. So it's 118th here, Harry Anderson as you go that way. So that's the intersection intersection we're talking about. And traffic is getting through that stretch in both directions, but you do want to watch for those emergency crews that are still on the scene of that crash. That's the first crash that we've had of the morning come in. Also watching this as you're going westbound on I-80, as you're approaching Highway 6, the Canesville exit on the east side of Council Bluffs, you do have a stalled vehicle on the right shoulder, so watch for that. There's some flashing lights as crews are working that one. It is off the road, but you may get thrown off by seeing those flashing lights there. Elsewhere, we're picking things up in the metro a little bit slow. This has been kind of a consistent slowdown. It's been showing up as you're making your way on Douglas, roughly around 20th or so. We do have lane restrictions that are in place in that area, so it would make sense as you continue toward downtown that you have the traffic volume increasing. Things would be slowing down, so be ready for that. And then 72nd and L is another area with some construction where we're looking at delays, of course, but mostly moving along pretty well. A lot of our main routes in pretty good shape. That's what it's looking like. 480, 680. We don't have any big problems to start off our Friday. And hey, it's Friday. Let's have a nice smooth commute and get everyone where they need to go without too much trouble.
That would be nice. All right, Jared, thank you. 2 News Now, Omaha Police sharing more insight into the chaotic scene that unfolded at a South Omaha gas station. We now know 4 officers suffered injuries in the shooting. We also know the identities of all 6 officers who fired shots, as well as the suspect who was killed. Police identified him as 28-year-old Juan Melgar Ayala from El Salvador. Police say he was not a legal U.S. resident and was a convicted felon. Family members report he suffered from mental health issues. This all began Wednesday afternoon.
Police say a 61-year-old stopped at Phil's Cash Saver near 30th and Ames for groceries when he was shot by Melgar Ayala several times. Detectives were able to track down the suspect to the Quick Trip at 32nd and L. Police say Melgar Ayala got out of the car, went into the men's bathroom wearing a face mask. When police ordered him to come out, authorities say he got out of the stall, started shooting at officers.
After returning fire, police say the responding officers got an uninjured bystander away from the restroom. Police say the officers repeated several commands in both English and Spanish. About a minute and 40 seconds later, police say he came out and again fired shots. Officers returned fire, killing him.
Here's a better picture of how the responding officers were positioned near that doorway. Police used cover as well as ballistic shields to protect themselves during some of that crossfire.
Well, these are all 6 officers who were involved. Emilio Luna, Brock Rengo, and Jordan Brandt were shot. Christopher Brown was hit by shrapnel. The 4 who were hurt are all expected to be okay. Well, following department policy, the officers are on paid critical incident leave. The case will be presented to a grand jury once the investigation's complete.
It's a story we've been following closely on First Alert 6. Make sure to head over to our website, firstalert6.com. There you can find a reaction from lawmakers, a timeline of exactly what went down, as well as more photos from the shooting.
All right, I'm here at the safety desk with our Maria Cade. What's kind of some sad news? New research is showing loneliness is impacting a large number of adults, 45 and older, and it sounds like that number's rising.
Unfortunately, it is. AARP is finding that 40% of adults that age group now say that they feel lonely, and that is up from 35% that was in the past surveys that they've done. So men are reporting higher loneliness than women. That's also a reverse from the earlier trends. Adults in their 40s and 50s are actually the loneliest age group, and experts say it's because of midlife stress, shrinking social circles. They all play major roles. Some other key factors are smaller networks, some mental health challenges as well, and having fewer close friends as you get older. So nearly half of lonely adults say that they have fewer friendships than they did 5 years ago.
That does make me sad, and I guess it's even worse this time of year.
Absolutely. You know, you want to spend time with families and friends. Maybe you might be far away or have lost those connections, so it's important to keep the ones that you do have really strong.
Reach out to your people. All right, Maria, thank you. And we'll be right back after this short break.
Welcome back early on this Friday morning. The time now 7:14. Taking a live look outside. Look how nice that sunrise looks early. It's a little bit deceptive, right? Because it looks all green outside. Well, it surely is cold, though. Not as cold as we've been, Jared, though.
Yeah, we've really seen the temperature surge over the last 24 hours, and it won't feel like it out the door. It's still cold. We're still looking at a wind chill that's in the single digits. But just remember yesterday morning when we were down around 0 with the air temperature, we were looking at wind chills that were double digits below 0. This is improvement as we get things up and running today. And that's kind of the case throughout the area where we have those temps right around 20 to even the low 20s at this point. We zoom things out and can see everyone kind of in the same boat when it comes to the temp. Feels like temperature is take about 10 degrees off of that, and that lands where we are at the start of the day. We'll continue to warm things up. We'll have clouds in and out as the day goes on, but especially in the afternoon, we'll see a little bit more of that cloud cover overhead. So be ready for that. That won't prevent us from getting to the mid-30s, though. We'll get above freezing, melts a little bit of snow this afternoon. Again, we'll have cloud cover, so it won't be a ton of it, but we'll get rid of a little bit of it as we go through those PM hours. All told, pretty nice day today compared to what we've had the last few days. A brief rain or snow shower is possible in the evening. I really don't think that's going to be all that big a deal. Tomorrow is a little bit more impactful. This is our first Alert 6 weather day, and I think we could start seeing snow as early as 11 in the morning, and then continue to see that off and on as the afternoon and evening goes on. And those totals will increase as you go north and east of the metro. In the metro, right around an inch, particularly as you get downtown toward the airport, we'll likely see a quick cutoff on those amounts as you move south and west. Let me show you how this plays out. So we start off today, lots of cloud cover in place for Saturday. And we could have a couple of flurries in place, but you can just see how we start getting some of these snow showers that develop as we get late in the morning, out ahead of our main little band here of our snow that sweeps through in the afternoon. The colors get a little bit more intense as we pick up those snowfall rates in the afternoon. There's going to be a little bit of a breeze alongside that, so that could knock the visibility down as the snow falls in the afternoon into the early evening. Watch for that. Also, of course, you're accumulating some snow, so some slick travel should be expected too. But notice how it's just consistent off to the north and east of the metro with that snowfall, whereas it's a little bit more on and off in the metro, and especially as you go to the south, you see how much less of it there is. That's the reason why that snow map is going to look as it does here in just a bit, where we show you that. So when we get into the overnight hours, we'll gradually see that rate start to come down by Sunday morning. We're talking about just a few flurries that remain in the area, and then we'll just be dealing with the cold through the rest of the day on Sunday. So in the metro, up to an inch is what I expect, and you're on the higher end of that in Council Bluffs, right near Epley, and then on the lower end of that, as you get toward Gretna, Elkhorn, Ashland, you're looking at maybe a dusting as you get into those areas. As you continue north and east, 1 to 3 inches, and out toward the higher end of that as you get toward Denison and Harlan out of this system. So it's one of those, we're kind of getting the edge of the system, but it's enough that we do look at impacts, and that's why we have that first Alert 6 weather day in place for this system. It's not just snow, we'll have a little bit of a breeze. It's not a real strong breeze, but we could get some gusts up around 20 miles per hour as the snow's falling. That's why I'm talking about visibility reduction being a possibility for us as the system comes through and brings some of that snow in the afternoon and into the early evening hours. So that's what to expect with Saturday. Notice Sunday, we really don't warm all that much. Start at 15 and make it to 20 degrees. It's going to be a cold one. A little bit better as we get to the beginning of next week at least.
Yeah, so we get past the snow, we get past that really cold day Sunday, and things look to warm up for us a bit.
Yeah, we'll actually get up into the 40s on a couple of days. That's something we haven't been able to say in quite some time. Lines up perfectly with our Stuff the Truck event on Tuesday, 42 the high, partly cloudy, a little bit of a breeze, but it's not going to be enough to ruin the day. And as we get into our Wednesday, we're looking at stronger winds and a rain-snow mix is possible once we get there, 40 degrees there. A little cooler behind that system, but still looking at 30s. We don't do the deep dive on our temperatures like we've done over the last few days, and we'll do again on Sunday. So some positive signs there as we head into next week, and some chances to maybe get out and get some fresh air too.
That'll be nice. And get some shopping, like you keep talking about. Gotta get that holiday shopping. All right, Jared, thank you. Well, Potawatomi County Supervisor Scott Belt is now out of a job after a judge decided he was intoxicated while acting in his official capacity. Of the 5 incidents of alleged intoxication, one from last month that stuck, there was video evidence and testimony of Belt drunk at a bar before leaving for a town hall meeting. Potawatomi County attorney says the character witness called by the defense didn't help much. The county treasurer, auditor, and recorder will set the process of filling the vacant seat. They will have 40 days to fill that spot.
Happening today, the NU Board of Regents will discuss cutting 4 departments at the University of Nebraska-Lincoln.
That's right. The departments up for elimination are Earth and Atmospheric Science, Education Administration, Statistics, and Fashion Design. Regents will also vote on proposals to merge 4 other departments into 2 interdisciplinary schools. Nebraska Representative Don Bacon calling on Congress to reject a proposal involving nursing.
Yeah, the U.S. Department of Education plans to remove the profession from the definition of a professional degree. That means that nursing students would not have access to higher loan limits. Health groups, including the Nebraska Hospital Association, fear this will only worsen the state and the national nursing shortage.
I agree with the concerns. We should not. People need loans. We should be able to, and this is very much necessary. So I guess to your point, I agree with you. And I think the Congress should push back. We could probably initially write a letter as one way, but also through the president and give our feedback to the speaker and push back on this. Or we may have to do this legislatively if need be. But I would support efforts to restore the status quo there.
The Nebraska Hospital Association says that 73 of Nebraska's 93 counties have a below average nurse-to-patient ratio. 9 counties have no registered nurses.
We'll still have this morning. We're getting ready for Husker Volleyball's NCAA tournament play.
Yeah, plus today is a historic day for America. Find out what it is when we come back.
Bottoms up. Today is National Repeal Day.
Some stuff in our hands right now. It marks the end of a prohibition. The 18th Amendment ushered in prohibition by banning the manufacture, transportation, or sale of alcohol. It went into effect in 1920. That all ended with the 21st Amendment, which repealed it. It went into effect December 5th, 1933. You can mark the day by throwing a party at a speakeasy-style bar, try a new cocktail, or have a mocktail if you don't drink alcohol as well.
You've got lots of options there.
Yeah.
Celebrate.
Kind of funny too when you watch like Great Gatsby to kind of see, you know, or movies kind of set in that time to see what things were like. You know, it was banned, but wasn't really banned.
Moonshine.
Well, the pressure is ramping up for Nebraska volleyball this weekend as they begin NCAA tournament play.
I hope they don't feel pressure. So the Huskers preparing to host Long Island. Nebraska, as you know, #1 overall seed in the bracket. They have made it clear it's national title or bust. Nebraska's game is slated to start 30 minutes after the Kansas State University of San Diego game ends, and the game starts at 4:30. So I'm wishing them the best of luck. I want this team to go all the way.
They got this.
They can do it.
Big expectations. By the way, congrats to Creighton. They won their game.
Yeah, they did. 5 sets, but they did it.
Got the job done.
Yeah, let's keep it going. All right, we're going to keep this going. We got to get ready for our update into today's show. You can watch it here on streaming or over our air.
Have a great start to your Friday and to your weekend.
Live from WOWT, First Alert 6 starts now.
Well, good Friday morning, everybody. It is 7:26. I'm Cerise Cole.
And I'm Aaron Hartley. Let's get an update on the roads and the forecast with meteorologist Jared Lansford.
And as you're heading the roads this morning, you're going to be experiencing just a couple of spots where we have some issues. We've still got some slowdown showing up around 118th and Harrison. That's also Harry Anderson. That's just off to the east of I-80. So watch that area for some slowdowns that are in place after that earlier crash. Also, another crash. This is eastbound I-80 between Madison and Canesville and Council Bluffs. It's over on the right shoulder. Traffic getting through there in okay shape, but there are some flashing lights there on the shoulder that you'll need to watch for. Mostly doing pretty well with our early morning travel. A little bit of a slowdown eastbound I-80 around 84th. Watch for that as you're heading through that stretch. As you head to your car, it's going to feel a little bit better than what it did yesterday morning. Still a little bit of a chill. We're into the single digits for those wind chills, but when you consider yesterday our temperature was around 0 and right near 20 as we start off today, that's a pretty sizable improvement. And we'll go from these temperatures that are right near 20 early this morning up into the mid-30s. There's the improvement over the last 24 hours, about 20 to 35 degrees warmer. So definitely improvement. We'll be looking at a bit of a breeze being in place today, gusts up around 15 miles per hour. And as we get into the afternoon, we'll peak at about 37 for our high. More clouds in the afternoon. We do have our First Alert 6 weather day still in place for our Saturday. That's where we look at accumulating snow starting after 11, up to an inch in the metro, a little bit more as you head north and east.
New video from that breaking news we brought to you within the last hour. A person was rushed to the hospital after a crash. This happened in the area of 118th and Harrison just before 6 a.m. Now, right now, details are scarce, but according to dispatch, that person's injuries are not believed to be life-threatening. Stay with First Alert 6 on air and online as we work to learn more.
It is 7:28. We're back with another update for you in about 25 minutes. We'll see you then.